Hi there, my lovely friends. Just let me pull up my script because if I don't, I'm going to waffle on like crazy. So, hello and welcome back to the channel. If you're a slightly older person and thinking about writing your first fiction book, or maybe you have started and you're feeling a little stuck, this video could be for you. There is so much writing out advice out there that it can feel like you need a degree just to start. But today I want to try and simplify things, clear the clutter, and focus on just the advice that truly matters, especially if you're a beginner fiction writer. So grab your cup of tea, settle in, and let's talk about the only writing advice you actually need. Tip number 1. You don't need to know everything, you just need to start. You might be worried when you're thinking about writing a book about the plotting and the pacing and the point of view and the world building and all those other technical terms that seem to get thrown around by various authors. But honestly, the only thing that's important in the first instance is getting your words on the page. Think of it like walking into a dark room with a flashlight. When you do that, you can only see a few steps ahead. But as you keep moving forward, your path becomes clearer. And that's exactly what writing is, step by step by step. Start with a scene, a moment, a line of dialogue that suddenly flashes into your brain and you just have to write it down. You can't edit a blank page, but you can reshape and reshape a rough one. So start writing. Tip number 2, your life experience is always relevant. I really want you to hear this because believe it or not, especially for some of us older people, your life experience is your superpower. You have lived, you have loved, you've lost, you've learned. All of that can give you an insight into your characters, relationships, and emotions in a way that a lot of young people starting out, they often have to guess at. You might have been a parent, had a career, faced an illness, made a tough decision, moved house, all these other things. These are all fuel for a story, far more than you might realize. So instead of worrying about what younger writers are doing on TikTok or how fast someone else is publishing and putting their work out, remember that your voice is valuable, your stories are worth telling, and your life experience gives those stories and your characters depth and complexity. You might not be writing stories about characters that are just like you. In fact, most of us don't. But the true elements of who you are as a person are in those characters. And as you've lived it, you can write it. The third tip for this is forget perfection. Please, people, you are aiming for progress, not perfection. One of the biggest blocks for any new writer is the concept of perfectionism. You may have this idea that if you're going to do this, you have to get it right first time. But guess what? Your first draft isn't supposed to be good. It's supposed to be written. Just before I started recording this video, I sent off my first draft to a trusted friend who is going to go through it because I know there'll be repetition. I know there'll be too many instances of telling instead of showing. I know it will probably have a soggy middle because that's the bane of our existence. But my friend will cast his eye over the book and he will highlight these sections so I can go back and make the story right. Nobody publishes their first draft, not even bestsellers. You can always revise, you can always improve. But you've got to allow yourself to be imperfect at the beginning. You've got to get those words on the page. So lower the bar, set yourself up to win. Even if your goal is only 200 words a day or writing a paragraph before you go to bed, just write it. And you'd be amazed at how fast those words add up. The fourth point, and this is something I say all the time, but tip number 4, write what you want to read. Write the story that excites you. Don't think about chasing trends. Don't try to guess what's marketable. Don't worry if your story is too weird, not serious enough, or just so out there. If you love it, if you're writing the book you want to read, then somebody else will love it too. New writers often worry that they have to write literary fiction to be taken seriously. Oh, I know that's how I used to feel before I started my current career. It's not true. You can write cozy mysteries, magical romances, historical adventures, science fiction about a retired space captain. It really doesn't matter what it is you want to write, just write it. So long as it lights you up inside. Passion is contagious. If you're enjoying the process, it shows in your work and your readers will feel it. So write what you love, write the story that excites you, and don't worry about anything else at this stage. Tip number 5 is slightly more unusual, but it does work. Tip 5, community beats comparison every time. It is so easy to compare yourself to others. And all that does, if you do that, is give you a headache and make you feel like you should just give up. So don't do it. Especially when you see writers online hitting milestones you haven't reached. Now, you might think somebody like myself that has over 100 books published, that, I'm immune to this. No. I'm only, in my genre, I'm only a low to mid-lister. And I look at the bigger names in my genre and I'm thinking, why can't I be like them? Why can't I write stories like them? Why can't I get the sales that they're getting? And see, the thing is if you do that, if you look at your friends and colleagues like that, then you're actually putting a barrier up between you and them. Instead, look for community. And actually, in my genre, the especially the paranormal romance community, it's we all help each other. So find people who are cheering for you, or cheering for you, not competing with you. It doesn't matter if it's a local writing group or an online forum. See, I tried to set up a writing group here in New Zealand, and that didn't happen. But I belong to so many different groups and what have you on Facebook, and your people are there. So follow other writers who are beginning just like you, and then you can help boost each other along and keep each other accountable. But you can find those writing friends online, even if you can't find them next door. Writing is a solo act, but it doesn't have to be lonely. And it's so much easier to keep going when you can talk over ideas and everything else with somebody that you know will understand. So definitely give that a consideration. And finally, tip number 6. You are allowed to write just for you. Now, I know that everything that I put out, I write for publication. I self-publish. I've been doing it a long time, and I've been supporting myself with it for over 11 years now. But the thing is when you're starting out, you don't have to publish your book at all. You don't even have to show anybody your work, unless you want to, of course. Writing is worthwhile, even if the only person who ever reads it is yourself. It's you being creative. It's you being expressive. It's a beautiful way to explore your thoughts, your imagination, and your own inner world. And if you do want to publish someday, that's great too. But let that be a bonus. Don't go into your writing thinking that if it becomes a burden instead. Let your goal as you're starting your fiction writing to enjoy the process. Find out for yourself what sort of story lives inside of you. Surprise yourself, especially if you're a pantser like me. So if you're just starting out and you're feeling a bit overwhelmed, remember you don't need to know everything. Your life experience is a gift. Perfection is the enemy of progress, so please don't do it. Write the story you love, and if it helps, connect with others. But above all, let the joy of writing be reason enough. Well, what do you think? Did it help? If you have enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up or subscribe if you haven't already. As you may know, I post long form content on Mondays and Thursdays. And remember, if you have any questions at all, to drop them in the comments below. For example, what was the best piece of writing advice you ever received? Like, what actually helped you? Or perhaps what was the worst? Share it with us or share it with me so we can benefit from it. Or maybe you'd just like to share a bit about the story you're writing, or the one that you would love to write that you haven't started yet, because I'd love to hear about that too. But either way, please just do it, my friends. Please do it. Keep writing, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.